Support for the Couples Council comes from Mercier Wellness and Consulting. Their purpose is to equip you with the right skills for a happy and healthy relationship. Services available in office or virtual. Schedule your consultations now. For more information, visit mercierwellness.com. Mercier Wellness and Consulting. Small steps, big changes.
This podcast is not a substitute for therapy. Please consult a licensed professional for your mental health needs. Now on with the show.
Hello and welcome to the Couples Council. I am Dr. Jameson Mercier. And guess who's back?
It's me.
Yes.
Herdine Mercier, the wife mentor. I am so excited to be back. But before we even go into today's episode, I want to say thank you so much to the Couples Council community. Thank you so much for all of the birthday wishes, DMs, all the birthday notes, you know. My love language is affirmations. And so to hear my hubby do an entire episode all about me, let's just say it was an exciting night.
Almost made me spit out my water.
You did well, my love. You did well.
Yes. So we did have a good night. It's funny because couple weeks, about a week or so prior, I'm saying to her, Dean, is there anything special, unique you want to do? And she's laughing because anyways, I said, is there anything you want to do? She says, babe, I just want €2. I said, what the hell? She says, yes, I just want €2. Now, they make damn good euros. This is a place that we go to on the weekends. But to tell me that you want €2 for your birthday.
One for lunch and one for dinner.
I said, oh, okay. I said, I don't think we're depressed. And I know we damn sure ain't pregnant. So I said, okay. And I said, at that moment, I said, yeah, she don't know what she wants.
I did know what I want. I just wanted to relax. Have €2 and celebrate my birthday in silence, peace, and just relaxation, you know?
Yeah. So I got her the euros.
Yes, you did.
But
I was on cloud nine.
But I had enough sense. Okay, listen up, guys. I had enough sense to know that she would enjoy just a little bit more of a celebration.
Not just a little bit. You planned a whole surprise, honey. Yeah. The night before my birthday, you came home with some flowers. I was like, oh, cute. I still have them to this day. Cute, cute, cute. And then I'm chilling at home on my birthday in my PJs, relaxing. It's about 6:00. My sister comes over, Martha, and she's like, get dressed. I'm like, get dressed what? I'm in my PJs. I'm about to listen to Becoming by Michelle Obama. The Candles by Patrice Washington is up, called Peace. I'm just in relaxation mode. And she's like, hurry up, hop in the shower, get dressed. You're going out for your birthday. And I am in shock.
That's how we do it. That's how I do.
Not just do it. So he sends for a car service to pick me up, and it takes me to a really nice restaurant.
Yep.
For my birthday. Yep. It was really, really nice.
And for someone who said they only wanted €2, you know, she was just like grinning and cheesing. Yes. And I'm like, yeah. So husbands, when your wife tells you some foolishness like, I just want some ice cream, or I just want €1, get her that, but do something just a tad more special. All right, yeah. You'll be glad. You both will be glad you did.
It was good. It was an amazing birthday.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it, babe.
Thank you, love.
You are welcome. Now, what we're going to talk about for today's episode is this book that you're reading.
Yes, we are.
Tell us about this book.
This The book that I'm reading is an amazing book with so many eye-opening, truth-telling experience through the lens of Mrs. Michelle Obama. Yes, my forever First Lady. And her new memoir is called Becoming. And I have just been zoned in, listening to it on audio, going in and just really having a moment with this book, because she is so raw about her experience in struggling to get pregnant, having infertility issues to conceive the girls, Sasha and Malia. She's also very candid about her and Mr. Barack Obama, my forever president, talking about how they needed to go to couples counsel.
Yep, you heard that right. And I mean, that's no secret, because that's been known that Barack and Michelle Obama have had to seek marriage counseling. Again, which is no surprise, because I can't imagine anything more stressful than being the president of the United States or being married to the president of the United States.
Yeah, but the counseling happened before he was even president, babe. The counseling happened when he was a senator, I believe.
Okay.
And so because they weren't seeing eye to eye on certain things.
Wouldn't surprise me if they needed counseling as president.
That's true too.
And First Lady as well.
That's true too. I mean, it's okay, because we always talk about the importance of doing love check-ins.
Oh, yeah. No,
and
for sure.
And for them, it was very beneficial. But what I loved about it, I did kind of, grin to myself about Michelle talking how she wanted to go to counseling so the counselor can fix Barack.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't all wives wish.
But it was very, very enlightening. And Mr. Obama, he did not want to go. He just said, we can read a book. We can do what we need to do to get this to work. But they really went in and it really benefited them. And I love that example of how many couples they're going to set free, and just saying, well, if Michelle and Barack can go into counseling, I'm willing to give it a try too.
Yeah, no, they're definitely setting an example that there's nothing wrong.
No.
Now, you recently came across something else that she said.
Yes. While she's on her book tour for Becoming, over the weekend, she made a comment in regards to, let me tell you, women, marriage still ain't equal, right? Mm-hmm. Marriage isn't equal. It's hard work. Nothing is about the same. Don't allow people to tell you these lies. So I'm trying to quote it myself, but that's.
Well, when you brought it to me, you said in particular, right? Mm-hmm. This myth that you can have it all.
Yes. Yes. Right? Yes, that's so true. When we discussed it earlier.
Yeah, so we were talking about this idea when you said, yeah, babe, this idea that you can have it all, you yourself were like, you're beginning to realize that's not true, or you were agreeing with her. Is that what you were telling me?
You know what? I think when I read her quote, and for me in my own journey of becoming, I realized that in the beginning of my life, it was, I can have it all. And now that I'm 38 years old, I have 4 amazing children, I have family, I have an amazing husband. I'm looking at my life and I'm saying, I don't want it all.
Well, okay, so let's back up for a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you were talking about, okay, you can have it all, or you wanted it all in the beginning, or when you were younger, what was your idea of having it all? Like, what was that? What did that look like? I
think for me, having it all was living out the American dream. As you know, we're first generation Haitian Americans. And so anything that the American dream had to offer, I wanted it. I wanted the cars, the clothes,
the big house,
the career, the kids, the white picket fence, the love. I have the love life that I want. I'm very, very grateful for. But now that I'm in my own reflection, I realize I don't want it all. I don't want it all. But what I do want, I want peace. I want financial security. I want the ability to own my own time. Freedom.
Okay. You know, when you said to me, the myth of having it all, right? One of the problems, one of the issues that I hear a lot when I work with couples is like this misalignment, right? So someone wants to have it all. So you're talking about, you know, financial security, you're talking about the house, the kids want to have all of that. Or something we talk about often is someone wants to be a homemaker, you know. And the other one is like, well, what do you mean? That's unrealistic. Or they're both are like, yeah, we can have it also. Now you have two people thinking, going down going down this lane. And when two people think like that, you know, maybe they're fighting and working towards that goal, but when they disagree, that can be catastrophic almost.
Yes, it can.
You know, when you said to me this idea of it's a myth and not wanting to have it all or not being able to have it all, I said to myself, it's interesting because I recently was saying to you, you know, I think some of my ambitions from say 10 or 15 years ago, I think I would do them differently, I think was a comment I made.
Yes.
Because, I mean, maybe this is just a function of getting older, but you begin to realize that priorities change maybe.
Yes. Or
the price you have to pay to have it all. Sometimes even sacrificing your marriage.
Yes. You know, too many, I think, in the line of work that we do, and the stories that we hear, and the trials that couples or families or individuals are going through, it constantly puts us in this place of reflection.
Yeah. And
gratefulness. And so when I am dealing with 15, 16, 17-year-olds contemplating suicide because of life stresses, and you think about when you were at 15, 16, and 17, that was not something that was on your mind. Or if I'm working with a 12-year-old who's doing a lot of self-cutting, self-mutilization to release the pain of being stressed or having so much pressure, it makes me say to myself, you know what? I don't want it all, in the sense of if it's going to sacrifice my time with my kids, where I am not present, they do not know me, and I just provide a check.
Yeah. Or even in the context of the strain or the stress that it puts on your relationship.
Yes.
You know, because it's not uncommon for trying to achieve it all, that one or both spouses work more than 40 hours, 60, 70, sometimes 80 hours a week.
Yep.
You know? And if you have children in the mix, that's a whole different calculation.
Yeah. And so I knew, as a couple who are we are a couple that constantly check in. And so I thought, by us having this dialogue, we can allow other couples to think about their own process, what has changed for them in their goals and their ambition, what really matters 10 years later into the relationship. You know? And so for me, one of the things is I want to be able to wake up, do what I love, without the pressures of trying to live up to someone else's standards.
Okay.
I want to be able to wake up and being content with who I am, What does it, I really want to always be on this quest of chasing myself.
Oh,
3
nice.
years, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And every time I get to that mark, I'm chasing myself to be better. Because remember, when we first got together, I said how I would judge our relationship is not by the number of years that we're married. How I'm going to judge our relationship is how did I evolve in this marriage?
Yeah. And that was very wise at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell you, a lot of couples, that's not the metrics that they use for their relationship.
No.
You know, for them, year after year, it needs to be a bigger car or a bigger house, better vacation,
Yep.
you know, having it all. So, better friends, you know, I'm doing that in air quotes, if that makes any sense. Or, more and more likes and followers on social media, you know, that's huge. Like we get these goals in our minds, this idea of what we want, and we want to both be good parents and we want to be successful entrepreneurs or business people or politicians. And
But
sometimes
at what price? And I think that is the question of this entire podcast is when you go back and speak to your partner, at what price are you willing?
at what price, how much are you willing to sacrifice?
How much are you willing to sacrifice? What's that price tag sometimes when you think about it?
I don't know. I will tell you, a lot of people end up sacrificing the relationship. You know, there are people who do achieve financial success,
Yes.
or they achieve political success or celebrity status. But when you look at the quality of their relationships, now not only their marriages, but the relationship with their kids, the quality of their friendships, you know, it doesn't match, right? Something's got to give somewhere. You know, and we recently did an interview where, oh, and by the way, you do want to stay tuned as we're doing these interviews. We are going to be releasing them in the new year.
Yes.
Great content, great people, with a lot of nuggets to share. But one question came up in a recent interview where the gentleman said, some of us are trying to force our marriages to do things they were not designed for. And so
That was Mr. Francis.
yeah, well, don't tell them too much. Just,
But, you know, we got to give them a little.
oh, we're going to give
They
them
are part of the community, boo.
No, y'all need to subscribe and stay. But when he said that, I said, wow. Wow. Right? We get in these relationships, and even before we got in these relationships, we already had an idea of where we were going to take the relationship, where we were going to take the family, and what it was going to do for us. And it's like, we didn't consult our spouse, because he or she might have had other plans.
But you know what? In hearing you say that, I often think that is a mistake that we do as individuals. If we're constantly, we have this one track mind, you're ready to hit that target, you want to keep going. Guess what happens? You're not available to be present in your current situation. And if you're not available to be present in your current relationship, how are you feeding that relationship?
Well, again, like we said, it's going to sacrifice. And this takes me back to us. Like when I was going through my doctorate, you know, that in my mind, and this is why this resonates with me, because for a while I drank that Kool-Aid. You know, we can have it all. We can do this. I'll be doctor this. I'll be daddy that. And at some point you say to yourself, if you're going to be a great father, then you might have to let go of this project. If I'm going to be a good husband to my wife, then I may have to leave this offer alone. You know, am I willing to miss out on X number of dinners per week, per month, per year to grow the business by this size?
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And, you know, and that isn't something that we've talked too much about, but for me, I've said to myself, there's only so much of myself I'm willing to give outside of my home.
So true.
You know, judge it how you will. It doesn't really matter to me. All that matters is what's going on in my relationship. And I've had to come to terms with those things for myself. And it seems like you've come to terms with it for yourself, but we've kind of come to terms with it at different times.
Which is totally okay. I think I have come to terms with it because I have been at a place in my life, and it typically happens around my birthday, where I am reflective and I think about the many years that I've been on this planet, 38 to be exact. And I am always, am I happy? When I look in the mirror, am I content with the woman that I see in the mirror? Are there some things that I still need to work on? You know, and I'm not talking about as a wife. I'm not talking about as a mother. I'm not talking about as a social worker. I'm not talking about as a friend, a cousin, a best friend, a sister. I am literally talking about me, Herdine Mercier, the individual. What is it about Herdine Mercier that when I close my eyes, that I am totally content that I've done a good job of evolving into my best self? And so that is crucial for me. And in this process this year, I realized I don't want it all. I don't want it all. You know, the only person I want to compete with is myself.
Yeah. And that is huge. You know, we find ourselves competing with other, not just people, but you can find yourself competing with other marriages.
That's a good one.
You can find yourself, you say to your spouse, you're like, damn, why don't we do that? Mm-hmm. How come we don't do what they do? Why don't you say this? Or why don't you bring me this or buy me that? Well, again, you may be trying to force your marriage to do something it is not designed to do.
You know, I know the studies are out there, and I really would think that individuals and couples would take heed to social media. In a sense, you're coming from a person that is a fan of social media, but I also have realized that I need to also back away a little bit, because it can become very cloudy. You will begin to question your own relationship that is solid. Does he really love me? Why isn't he doing this? Oh, I love this. If only Jay would do this. And so you would have to be, you really would have to do a social media detox before anything can happen. And I'm telling you, I don't know if the study is being done right now, but the divorce rates are probably going to go higher because of social media.
Let me tell you, again, I've not done the research, I've not done the study, but I know for a fact that some of the couples who come and see me, when you dig deep enough and you talk enough, and you get to a point where you're like, yeah, you know, so she was either looking at this on social media or he was liking this picture, and you're like, whoa, wait a minute, what are we talking about here? You know, it comes up in the relationships. Sometimes if one is upset with the other, they isolate. Where do they go? The phone, the social, yeah, you know. And so let's leave the social media for like another episode altogether. But the point you made, babe, about, just disconnecting from some of these things, which ultimately, I guess, it's a distraction.
Yeah, I think sometimes you have to disconnect to be present.
Yeah.
You have to disconnect to be present. There is something when you begin to take in your present situation. You're not talking about your past. You're not thinking about your past. You're not thinking about your future. You're just present. Like, I'm watching the kids and they're playing outside and they're riding bikes and they're scraping themselves, and I can see it happen. Like, I'm present, I'm watching my husband as his beard grows on his face, the inches.
Yo, the beard game is serious. Okay.
I'm present.
It is serious.
And so there is just benefits in being present that I think we are hurting our relationships because, one, we're probably so ambitious. We're not saying that you cannot be ambitious.
Right. No, that's not the message here.
Yeah, we're not saying that you cannot be ambitious. But when you get there, is that really what you want? And so this will be a time when you talk. One of my pillars that I discuss with wives is the reflect pillar. It's that time when you're going to do that in examination of where you at in your life. Is this really what you want? If you said peace, but working 80 hours a week does not equal to peace, how is that accurate?
Yeah. The question, I guess, is, are you someone right now who's saying to yourself, I can have it all, or I want to have it all? What does all look like? Right? What does it all mean? Because to be honest, when we say, we don't all say it sometimes, and some of us have no idea what it looks like, and some of us may be completely clear on what we mean when we say, I want it all, right? But think about it. Think about what you're saying, and think about the price. Okay, think about the cost of having it all. I'll tell you, and I don't like to ramble or rant too much about this, but minimalism, becoming a minimalist has totally changed my life. It's totally reoriented the things that I say I want and the things that I think I need in my life. Okay? And, we live in a society where it's all about me, more. But what does that do to our relationships? Right? What does it do when you're stuck having to work more to pay for more stuff?
And then when we're talking about relationships, I hope we're getting across we're not only talking about your spouse, we're talking about your kids. Countless kids that I have worked with, and their main or number one concern is that they don't see their parents. And some of their parents, due to life circumstances, are working 2 to 3 jobs. They make sure that they eat, but there's no true connection.
Yeah.
And so what are you doing in your relationships to foster a positive connection?
Yeah, it's one thing when you have to work 2 jobs, 3 jobs for the basics, right? That I understand. And even then, there is an asterisk, right? What are the basics? Just take a moment and say, what are the basics, right? But it's another thing when you're not present just simply to accumulate stuff. Okay? Stuff. Things that the kids won't care about in a week or 2. Things that you will grow to resent in 6 months or a year. Because guess what? The newer model comes out. Hello. Thank you, iPhone. So again, having it all, right? I mean, babe, you're talking about being present, being content, having it all. Like, you never really have it all because there's always something new to be had.
Yep.
There's always something new to be had. There's always something new that someone else does that you feel like you need to have or you're missing out on.
Yeah.
You know? And so I don't know how else to say it other than to say, take a moment. Just take a pause and ask yourself, ask your spouse, are we these people? Like, do we feel like we should have it all? And this isn't a judgment thing.
No.
Understand, like, we don't want to work 80, 90, 120 hours. God bless you if you do. That's our decision. But if you're okay with that, fine. But ask yourself, at what cost? What's the price? And is it worth it?
Yeah. So I'm on this journey of finding what peace means for me. And so on this journey of finding what peace means for me, it means quality time with my family. It means being present at all times as much as possible when I am with them. It means being very strategic and saying no to opportunities.
Certain opportunities.
Certain opportunities that are not in alignment with their basketball schedule or doctor's appointment or play at the school. It means me being fully present in my role that I decided to take on as a wife and a mother.
Yeah. It means for me sometimes shutting down the office for a day or two.
Yes.
Less. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You know, you talked about the social media thing. I will tell you, I've observed as you've, gone through that journey. Wasn't always easy. Wasn't always easy. And, it's funny, like, we got kids here. Everybody's on phones and everything. Mm-hmm. There were times when I've tried to implement, like, no phone zones. Mm-hmm. And whether it's physically here, no phones, or at this time, or shut off the Wi-Fi at a certain time. And to see the change, and by the way, none of that shit works. But I think the because we allow each other to go through these things in our own time. Mm-hmm. That's why we're okay.
Yeah, and that's why we'll continue to be okay, because once again, we are okay with the possibility of us becoming our best self, and we're not hindering each other from that experience.
No. So do yourselves a favor. Again, ask yourself, are you one of these people? What are the pressures that you're putting on your marriage? Is it worth it? Mm-hmm. Because that's something only you can answer.
One of my fears, babe.
What's that?
And that kind of relates to this topic. My fear, one of my biggest fears, is that one day I will come home and hear that you were diagnosed with something, or the kids were diagnosed with something, or my mom was diagnosed, or my sister was diagnosed with something deadly. And I would look back at the time that I had with you and the times that weren't present, the regret that I would feel. Mm. And so that's what really has put me on this journey of, you know what? The relationships that I'm here for, that I'm ready to, fight for and live with and enjoy my journey on this earth with, that I am going to put the time in and I'm going to be present.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, yes, I may isolate myself from social media at times, or I may not go to an event, or I may do something. But the truth of the matter is, I will not be robbed of the time that I have with you all or while you're here on this earth.
No. And we see a difference. Your spouse, your kids, your marriage will appreciate you for having this thought or thinking or doing or making some of these adjustments. Again, it's different for everybody, but again, do yourselves that favor and explore where you are along this continuum, right? Because for some it may not be a problem.
Oh, it may not be. It may be working perfectly fine for you, and we commend you all. But those who are listening and realizing, where are you putting your time? And my advice to you today will be for just 24 hours. From the time you wake up, document your time for 24 hours. Every inch of it. You went to the restroom, you write it down. You are on your phone, you write it down. You're at work, you put that time. And look at it. And see what it's telling you. I think on iPhones now, they actually tell you how much screen time you've had.
It's gotten so bad that they have to have the very thing that many people are addicted to tell them it might be time for a break.
Yeah. I will tell you this. I think I saw mine about 2 weeks ago. I had 9 hours.
In what period? Like
in a week. Because the report comes every week.
Okay.
And so I was like, 9 hours? Oh no. I deleted some apps. And then the following week, I was at 2 hours.
Okay.
And so that was very eye-opening for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I have to remember, like, some shows that I watch. I watched the Red Table by Jada Pinkett. So I have to go back and download Facebook
for that,
just to watch it, and then I'll delete it again.
Yeah.
But it's the process that I am willing to take for the things that I'm willing to sacrifice for.
Well, guys, listen, wherever you are in your journey, wherever you are in your process, listen, we support you. We wish you the best of luck. We support you long distance, and we can support you literally, with consultations, appointments, because we do understand this is not easy, particularly for this generation, right? And again, it's not all bad, because chances are you're probably listening to this episode on your smartphone, right? The irony of it all. So, we understand. But this idea of balance.
Yeah. I think awareness brings clarity.
Yes.
And clarity results change, will equal change.
Yeah. Yeah.
So awareness brings clarity, and clarity will equals change.
Yeah.
So just be aware of what's going on, and take some time to reflect where you're spending your time.
Yeah. Like you said, babe, I remember I came across this saying, you can't change what you don't track.
Yeah.
Right? If you want to make some change in an area of your life, a corner of your marriage, track it. Just track it. Don't judge it. Don't say nothing. Just track it. And it will become abundantly clear what the reality is. All right, guys. Anything else, babe?
Hey, we want to hear from you.
Well, anything
don't
else.
Forget. No, nothing else. But don't forget to
jumping into the closing already.
I thought that's what you meant.
No, man. Anything else is about the topic.
Oh no, I'm good.
Okay, now you can go.
Thank you, Dr. Jameson Mercier. Yeah. Thank you,
man. Being
and you call me the diva.
Listen. And
you call me the diva.
Being technical here, managing the soundboard. That's like hard work, man. I gotta edit all this out. I'm not gonna edit it out. Listen, guys, we have fun here. We want to hear from you. We want to know if this is of any value. We thank you for listening. We thank you for sharing, because as we look at the map, as we look at the metrics, our downloads have been increasing.
And we're spreading.
Our reach has been spreading.
And so we just want to thank you. Don't forget to tell 5 friends. Please don't forget to rate us. You got to rate us 5 stars. Yay! It was my birthday.
Yes. Thank you guys for listening. You can find us across all social media platforms at Dr. Jameson Mercier. On this Instagram, Twitter. Herdine is the wife mentor all over the place.
Yes.
And as always, if any of that is too much, just go to mercierwellness.com and you can find it all there. Thank you again. Thank you for listening. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. We will catch you next time on the next episode of
The Couples Council.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey everybody! Thank you for listening to our mom and dad. If you like them as much as we do, then click subscribe and leave a comment. But now they have to go because it's family time.
So go practice what you heard, and we'll catch you on the next episode.